Edward here is my name, and I would like to welcome you to this session. And before I actually start this session, I would like to thank, of course, the Sharp Academy for sponsoring this particular session. Indeed, I believe, of course, it will be very much helpful for most of the people, especially those that might be writing, of course, GCE. So, what we have? So today we have got Mathematics Paper 1, that is 2024 internal. So we have just picked, of course, the first 5 questions, then we'll continue picking them like that until, of course, we are done with the whole paper. Then we start the GCE, we go to internal, of course, with the guidance of Sharp Academy Management. So when you look at Mathematics Paper 1, 2024 internal, the first question in that paper is simplify. Okay, simplify. So when we talk of simplify, what are we simplifying? So we are simplifying 3 open brackets, then that's 2x minus 4 close, then 2 open, then x minus 1. Okay, so when you look at this particular question, if the question says simplify, we have to make it simpler than it is actually looking. So our first part there will be, we have to expand this question. So by expansion, it simply means we have to get rid of the brackets that we have. And how do we do that? So we are going to multiply this number that we have there with everything that is inside the brackets. And we are going to say 3 times 2x, that will give us what? 6x. Then 3 times negative 4, that will give us what? Negative 12. Then, of course, negative 2 times x, that's negative 2x. Then negative 2 times negative 1, that will give us, of course, positive 2. So when you have got an expression like that one, quickly, we have to actually collect what are called like terms. Okay? So the like terms, we are going to pick 6x minus 2x minus 12 plus 2. So the signs do not change, because the sign can only change if that particular number has actually crossed the equal sign. So in this case, we have just rearranged them. They have just moved. So what we are going to do there, since now we have the like terms, we are going to say 6x minus 2x, that will give us 4x. Okay? Then negative 12 plus 2, that is negative 10. Then that becomes our final answer. So in most cases, please be mindful, of course, of the negative in front of 12 there, because in most cases, somebody can just bring the negative there and they add 12 plus 2 and write 14 there, which is not correct. So the 12 is not positive, it is negative. So no wonder you have to consider it as you are trying, of course, to work it out. So it's negative 12 plus 2 and the answer is negative 10, meaning that question 1 we are done. Okay, then quickly I'll look at question 2. Okay, it should be evaluate. Okay, look at question 2. Of course, it should be evaluate. What is it that we are evaluating? So we are evaluating negative 2, the power 0 there, then times negative 2 there, then we have got negative 3 there. So how do we evaluate this question? One thing that we have to know, according to the laws of indices, any number raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. Okay? So since negative 2 is raised to the power 0 there, meaning that it is equivalent to 1. So we are going to write 1 there, then times. So now, when you look at negative 2, being raised, of course, the power negative 3. So one of the things that has to be considered as the priority there is we have to make the 3 there be positive. And how do you do that? So we do that by dividing this whole concept there into 1. So we are going to write 1 over negative 2 now to the power positive 3. So by dividing this information into 1, it makes the power there become what? Positive. Okay? So from there, what we are going to do, we can even say 1 times 1 there is what? 1. then over negative 2 to the power 3, which is of course negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. So negative times negative, it's positive. Times negative, it's negative. Then 2 times 2, that's 4 times 2, that will give us what? 8. So mean that it's 1 over negative 8. That becomes our final answer. So quickly, before I erase, I would like also to add the third one because it's also quite quick. Okay, so the third one we are factorizing. What are we factorizing? Okay, so we are factorizing 27y squared minus 3x what? Squared. So when you look at this question and the term factorize completely, so to factorize a question completely, to factorize, it simply means add brackets to the question mathematically, okay? And we do that by identifying what is common. So when you look at the information that we have there, the variables are not common. But when you look at, of course, the coefficients, so 3 and 27, we have got the number that can go into these two numbers, and that is 3, of course. So we can write 3 outside there, then we open. So 3 into 27, that will actually give us what? 9y squared. Then we'll say minus, so 3 into 3 is 1. So 1 times x squared, that is of course x squared, like that. So now when you look at what we have here, 9 is a perfect square number. Then y is a square information, is a square variable there. X is also a square variable, meaning that we can say 3, isn't it? Okay, now because these two information that we have there inside the brackets, all of them are perfect square information, meaning that we can factorize by using difference of what? 2 squares. And how do you do that? So we are going to say 3, then we open, okay? So the square root of 9 is what? 3. So we are going to write what? So if we want to make it easy, we know you can even say 3y, you do that, then you put a square. So that 3 squared, it's 9. Y squared is what we have there. So that's minus that information. So our 3 will be open, then you write 3y minus x, you close, again you open. Remember there are 2 3y's here. So mean that the other one comes there now. Plus what? X, you close. Meaning that you are factorized completely. Okay? So that's the other question that we have. And let me just quickly erase this part. Okay? I'll quickly erase this part. Okay? Maybe I can also erase this part so that we can create enough space for the other two. Okay, so quickly, a straight line L is represented by the equation. What is the equation? So the equation is 2x minus y being equal to what? 5. Okay, find the gradient of the line L. So when we talk of finding the gradient, okay, of this line L, one of the things that we have to do is have the general equation, of course, formula in your mind, which is, okay, y equals to mx plus the c, which is the constant value there. So that is the equation of the straight line, okay? So meaning that you just have to actually, write this equation that you have been given in that particular what? Format. And how do you do that? So we know that y is of course the subject of the formula there. So we can say negative y will remain being equal to, remember after equal sign we have got the mx. So m is the gradient and the x value there. So meaning that the 2x there will come this side. It will be negative 2x. The 5 is the positive. So that will be what? Plus 5. Okay, so once we are done with that one, we know that the y there is positive and not negative. So we can even divide by negative 1. We can even divide by what? Negative 1. So negative 1 there, it will give us y now. So negative 1 into actually negative 2x, that's positive 2x. Then negative 1 into positive 5, that's negative 5. Meaning that therefore, our gradient will be equals to, so the gradient is the coefficient of x there. So just like of course the formula stipulates there. So once you do that, our gradient there is what? 2. Meaning that you have gotten it correct. Just like that. So find the gradient of the line. That is our gradient. And the last one, maybe the last one, I can even actually answer it from this end. Shape the region P intersection R complement intersection Q, okay, on the Venn diagram in the answer space below. So this is the Venn diagram that we have. So what does this mean? So what this simply means is, okay, we are interested in P, where P is intersecting with R, and where it is intersecting with what? Q, okay? So now, we are saying R complement. So the complement means except or set aside. So when we look at R, this is our R. So except this R, mean that the intersection for P and Q, it will remain this part. Okay, so once you shade that particular part, meaning that you have answered the question. So please just be mindful that you do not shade this part, because this part is part of R, and R must be exempted from the shading part. So thank you so very much for watching this first session, and please look out for more videos, of course, that are being sponsored, of course, by Sharp Academy. And if you would like actually to join our classes, our GCE classes, online and physical classes, just call on the number that will be shared, of course, in the comment section. So thank you so very much, and please invite other people to come on board on this particular platform. So this is a platform for learning and sharing knowledge. Thank you so much.